Our first battle, and it's lining up as a very interesting one. Two guys with very similar chassis, different power plants. The best driver in the world right now, James Deane. I think we can argue that all day, but he has got the credentials to go up against a man that wants to beat him, so many times that he's battled him 3 or 4 times and lost. Michal Reichert has met James Deane many a time in Riga before, never been able to take him down. What a day it would be here. James Deane comes with a lot of preparation into this event, saying that this is one of his favorite tracks in Europe, and now he's got to put that vision in, or the focus and vision, as he comes off the line up to 4th gear, up to almost over 100 miles an hour. Reichert stays with him, but Reichert has the power, but he's losing him a little bit on the run, and James Deane very fast and very wide to the outside of the circuit as James Deane puts foot to floor. Very nice flick from left to right from James Deane. Reichert putting wheels up on the curb in the chase position. He's making mistakes, trying to cut the track to get up as close as James Deane as he can, and he is getting there just towards the end, trying to put some proximity onto the Irish champion. But as you can see, Michal Reichert just about getting the proximity at the end, but Ian, he sacrificed a lot of the track to do so. He cut a lot of corners, and he made some errors.
Yeah, very, very scrappy chase run there from Michal Reichert. And to be honest with you, Dave, not a foot wrong from our first place qualifier and reigning king of Riga, James Deane. You see those guys making their way back. Look at this on the initiation. For me, Michal Reichert initiated way too early on the middle of the circuit. Needed to wait, get closer to Deane before he initiated. That gave Deane the opportunity then to put hammer down, start to drive away. Michal Reichert from that point out then had to play catch up. He made a little brave dive here, but he's out of outside zone 6. And as Kevin just said, sacrificing that angle to gain proximity, not what they wanted to see. James Deane, for me, clinical as always, Dave.
Yeah, exclamation point at the end there, right up onto the door, but an exclamation point after a weak sentence doesn't mean anything. But as you said, Michal Reichert, this dive here in the transition was pretty brave, pretty close. With Deane looking laser focused towards that wall. Watch him eye up that wall run. You see so much speed carried in this track, it's actually tearing James Deane's car apart. He said he can't secure the panels enough because they're so light and the speed is so high. And getting out to that outside wall, that's what we want to see. And it looks like James Deane will carry a fairly sizable advantage into the second half of this battle. Now he's in the chase position. Reichert, though, and what we've watched over many years here is the unpredictable nature of that second run. Anything can happen, and Reichert will know that he's not out of the fight yet.
No, he certainly isn't, Dave. And James Deane now will be sitting in that chase position saying, look, I've got a guy in front of me who's a little bit unpredictable. He's had a few incidents today. He's been into the wall. Well, who knows what is going to happen. They get the thumbs up both all around. And we wait for those lights to go on. And as soon as the bottom light illuminates, those guys get the green light to go. As you can see the chicane there for the lead car to stop him from driving away in a drag race style. They come down through the chicane, in, up, onto the scoring zone, denoted by that white line. Opposite flick across the track for Michal Reichert, but he drops way at the outside zone. Deane finding it hard to battle as he struggles a little bit to get onto the door. Holds back just James Deane. He knows that Michal Reichert didn't have the cleanest chase, and now way offline is Michal Reichert. James Deane dives through the smoke once again. It gives Michal Reichert the room to manoeuvre. Reichert fully into outside zone 6. Deane stamps his authority on the end of the run.
Well, to be fair to Michal Reichert, we saw his car roll into the pit area, into the paddock area just at the end of practice. There was 2 wheels not on the car. It was a massive smash in practice, an amazing effort by his team to get it back out for that battle. We don't know how 100% that car is. It looked a little bit wayward. You can see a lot of steering inputs into the front of the car right throughout the course, and it was a very heavy impact with the wall in his practice runs that I think would have knocked out a lot of alignment, would have knocked out a lot of suspension parts, and he was just holding on a little bit through that run. To be fair, puts 2 clean runs in. Not perfect, not through all the zones, and not an amazing lead or chase. And James Deane, you can see him just toying a little bit with Reichert through the second half of the course, doing enough for the judges to not have a question in their mind, but not taking any major risks. That's where his experience counts.
Exactly that, yeah, and that experience counting for a lot, and you can see how far off that qualifying line Michal Reichert is. That outside zone to the right-hand side of your screen, and Michal Reichert focused on the wall, and James Deane just waiting to time that transition perfectly. Both guys out the car. They're going to slide left or right. Who's going to take it through? And it's going to be unanimous. James Deane gets the win, advances through to the top 16.
Yeah, no surprises there. Deane, definitely the highest ranked driver moving into this event. We expect him to be the toughest competitor to beat on the track, and Michal Reichert knew he was up against it. Car not 100%, not a comfortable practice session, and going up against the best driver arguably on the grid. Not the perfect start, but however, Reichert will, and all of these drivers will reset, and tomorrow go back into round 4 where the scores are reset to 0. So he says weekend's not over yet. We move it back to the start line.
Yeah, it's going to be Sebastian Fon